The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening and welcome to McStabber Studios' Windy City After Dark. I am the storyteller, Shaggy McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and you can find me on socials at Relindair. And I will be playing Jacqueline Duron of Clan Ventrue.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'll be playing Isabella Caputo of Clan Torador.
Good evening, I am Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel.
I'm Urian, and I'm playing Roscoe Acres, Clan Tremere.
And I am Brad, Timber Brad 411 in chat, and I'll be playing Nicholas Bowens of Clan Hikato.
Well, welcome back for episode 2 of season 8 of Windy City After Dark. Last week, this coterie, well, they started off with a bit of a meeting that was interrupted by Antoine, who turns out is Jackie's son. And that was a bit of an emotional scene, but at the same time, Roscoe had a bit of a premonition that led to the shard of a beast in their club. Of course, this now gives them something they can track, something they can look for. And then from there, they had to leave the club rapidly because, of course, police were going to be involved. And Isabella finally got a chance to talk with Sovereign. Nicholas had a feeding moment with the Ash user's corpse. Jenny finally got to hear the pitch from Razule. But you know what they say about used car salesmen like that. You get the pitch, but you better read that fine print. And then Roscoe, of course, looked into the residue a bit, and then Jackie had a tender moment with Etienne, I think is the best way to describe it. And Etienne has warned her that he feels that, well, Andre is probably en route to Chicago. And where we pick off, it's just a few days later. We flash to Nicholas and Roscoe. I believe you're meeting at Roscoe's shop, the two of you. And
Yeah.
when you arrive at the shop, of course, Roscoe's in the back, and Michael meets you He's inside at the door. The shop is closed at this point, but Michael looks up as you come in. Mr. Bowens. Roscoe's in the back. You
Good
know the
evening,
way.
Michael.
You can.
Thank you. I'll see myself.
Yes, sir.
And Nicholas will go to the back.
And you find Roscoe in the back, unboxing, well, some more purchases he's had shipped to him that he's, it's a bookstore. He's constantly having to shift his stock around.
Good evening, Roscoe.
Oh, Nicholas, hi. How's it going?
Well, I believe I have found myself in a bit of a problematic situation thanks to, well, in part my own poor decisions, but our friend Mr. Benway,
Oh no.
Dr. Benway.
What happened?
It seems I may have crossed a threshold with one of the items I procured from him.
Which one?
I've had a rather
Wasn't that ring, was it?
increase in. I'm sorry.
Oh, it wasn't that ring, was it?
Which one? The one that gives people funny appetites.
Yeah, that one.
That's unfortunately exactly the one.
What happened?
Do you remember our friend from the club?
Mhm.
I was looking into her remains before disposing, trying to get answers about our ash problem. And I seem to have lost track of myself because one moment I was performing a very normal autopsy,
Mhm.
and the next I had consumed half of her kidney.
Okay, well, at least there's no one asks for receipts.
Yes, there is fortune in owning a crematorium and a funeral home. However, I feel it is in everyone's best interest that I get rid of this ring, which I understand will be a complicated endeavor.
Yeah. How did it come over you to take a bite of kidney? I mean, I'm just wondering how the ring works.
I honestly do not know. One moment, as I said, I was looking over her body, and then it was as if time passed, and the next thing I knew, I had found myself eating her organs.
So you didn't even get a chance to think about whether you wanted to or not.
No, and that is, I believe, exactly where the problem lies.
I understand. No?
I was curious about the ring, but unfortunately, it seems curiosity did indeed kill the cat.
Well, we're going to have to figure out some serious way of getting rid of it, because we've seen that simply changing its shape or trying to destroy it doesn't really dissipate the curse. Did you have any ideas?
Yes, and unfortunately, the purpose of this visit is to request that you join me to see the madam. She has many objects believed to be cursed.
True.
and seems to be doing perfectly fine.
I will. It's not something to be taken lightly, but yes, I'll go. I actually have some business with her myself. Might be a good thing to get it done, both of us at the same time.
And I feel that if the ring causes me lapses in autonomy, then it's best that someone else be present to ensure.
No, I totally agree with you. Now, do you think we should bring other people along with us?
I hesitate to say yes, given I expect the reception to the news will be poor at best.
No, it's not such a great idea for us just to go alone, because if they don't know we're gone, well, maybe we can never come back.
Did you have someone particular in mind?
Well, I usually talk to Jackie when I'm going to do something semi-foolhardy.
Perhaps in the future I should speak with her before doing foolhardy things.
It's usually a good idea. She sets me straight.
Perhaps you're right. The more the merrier, they say.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the
Which you-
spirit.
Spirits. Huh. Fortunately, the endeavor wasn't entirely useless. I did gain some information, which I will share once we are all together, as perhaps that might be putting lipstick on a very ugly pig.
That's really interesting. I can't wait to hear, because I had some insights too.
Perhaps they were similar.
They might be, yeah. Well, let's get it over with, because if we're going to take some heat for it, at least get it over with. So I'll text Jackie saying, going to go to see the madam to for some business, Nicholas and I.
Okay, and we're going to hold right there. We'll come back to your text in a minute, because we're actually flashing over, speak of the devil there. We're flashing over to Jackie and Jenny. Over at, well, you're over at Jenny's restaurant right now.
Phoenix. Mm-hmm. How goes things with the hotel, Jenny?
We're almost there.
Excellent.
Loden only set it back a little bit.
Ah.
So, but it's all good. Insurance, it also helps. It's helped me in some ways, because now we know how the prince really feels, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be fine once it gets going. So, you had mentioned your connections higher up, and I have been pondering the Bobby situation. Since he owes me the life boon, and he is now scared for his life, and I can't just march into Anarch territory and raise the place to the ground. That would make my life a little bit easier, but I've been trying to figure out, either I do something about Bobby or I do something about his problem. I can't really feel like I can do both at the same time. So I've kind of been thinking, well, Bobby's also indebted to someone Jackie knows.
Indeed.
So maybe I just take Bobby off of their hands, and then I can just fix the problem for them, and we can all move forward. So this isn't, I don't know.
Understand, if you make that proposition to Dawn, she will evaluate you She will find that you are a much more valuable asset than Bobby Weatherbottom. And you will become hers.
I don't know about all that. She gets me for this one op. After
Okay,
that,
as long as you are firm in that, because she will try to
yes.
take more.
Oh no. I'm not looking to kick it with the Archons and all the big wigs up top. Us Gangrel, we have to maintain that lone wolf demeanor at times. So
Do you know how I became an informant?
sheer will.
No, I didn't even ask for it.
Oh.
I literally, my sire was brought to my haven, torpid. He had been in a fight. He was an Archon to the Justicar of Clan Malkavian at the time, who was the predecessor of the current Malkavian Justicar. And I could not rouse him. But him being an Archon, there was no one I could trust in the city to take care of him. So I sent Etienne to London to tell my grandsire that her child needed his Justicar. She showed up, roused him, and as she was leaving, she told me that what I had done was incredibly wise. And that she could use someone like me in her service. So of course you don't tell a Justicar no.
I mean, look. So
And
what you're
now,
trying to say
now
is,
I have served 2 of them, and it's like,
oh,
that's why my retirement plan is to take over Milwaukee. Because I keep getting passed along, like my sire was passed along, and I'm like, I know I'm useful, but goddamn, I want to do something for myself once.
so I need to be careful of the honeyed words.
Yes, be very careful. And if she tries to force you to conscript you, because that's basically what happened to me, I was conscripted, flat out tell her no. That she'll take your offer or she'll leave it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I was kind of feeling that vibe. No offense to Archons, and I know that the Gangrel are not necessarily viewed well in a lot of circles, but I did not really want to don't plan on selling out my unlife to her or her boss or somebody else like that. So,
and just so you are aware, that one is probably going to be the next Justicar.
Yeah, my stop is the next one, so
yeah,
I'm getting off that train.
Yeah, so I just wanted to warn you about that because, yes, if you are very valuable, she will try to conscript you.
I gotcha. Well, I appreciate the warning. No, I will fight tooth and nail to prevent that personally, because yeah.
But I can arrange a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
She will likely want me present because I am the mutual contact. But I will arrange a meeting.
That
and
works.
Once she lets me know where we will hold this meeting, I will take you to her.
Okay, yeah. I figure if I can just like take the problem off of her plate, maybe we can resolve this peacefully and nicely, and we can all move on with our whatever the hell
Although
it is
I
we're
will
doing.
say, killing Duncan McTavish is not our fucking problem. It's
Well,
theirs. It's the Archons. And the fact they haven't, they're afraid of him.
Well, unfortunately, it's become my problem in a little bit because I would like to make use of the life boon.
Oh, and I get that. I know your position. He owes you a life boon. A life boon is worthless if the person that owes it doesn't exist.
Yeah. And I'm not going to make him like embrace somebody and then pass the life boon to them and then kill him, that
Right.
would seem kind of
No.
it's not really my
No.
style.
No.
So I figure I have to do something for Bobby.
Yeah, if you can get him off that chain and get him out of the city,
Oh yeah.
that would be ideal. And
If it goes as I'm hoping, Bobby's gonna be working on his tan elsewhere.
excellent.
Not literally, but
Yeah, I know.
figuratively.
I know.
Just
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah.
Some people take me very literally, so I'm just
Yeah. I definitely, yes, I will arrange that meeting. I think as long as you are firm and don't let her talk you into anything. I'm not going to say the words would even be honeyed. She's a bitch.
I appreciate the warning. It's the whole thing. It's the business deal. If the deal sounds shitty, I'm not signing off on it. So yeah.
Oh, it appears I've gotten a text message. Oh, Roscoe and Nicholas are going to the madams. I think we should all go. I do
Oh.
not trust those two alone.
You don't trust them alone. You don't trust them together. I mean, it's not. It's
Alone
understandable.
or alone together.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I get it. I've known Nicholas long enough. I'm sure he's probably done something stupid. So
I will send a text to Isabella.
Okay, and we're going to pause this scene right here as we pop over to Isabella. Isabella, you're at your bar there. Emilio has, in the last few days, increased the cameras around your place. There is now a camera looking at every view, and it seems each camera has a remotely controlled spotlight that he can flip switches on to light up all around the place.
She's gonna call him like back into her office.
And he comes in. How you doing? I think I got everything in. It wasn't cheap. We got it done pretty quick.
I mean, I was mostly joking about like toothpick thing. You don't think this is a bit extreme?
No. Not at all. It doesn't take but a splinter to put you to sleep. If I had my way, we'd take the wooden bar out. We'd take out the wooden chairs, but it wouldn't be, the aesthetic wouldn't work.
What happened with her previously? We've had risks before, but it's never been like this. Something's different.
She's not just dangerous. She's just not just a killer. We're all killers. I'm a killer. You're a killer. All your friends are killers. She enjoys it. She enjoys the killing. She enjoys the pain. She enjoys the emotional abuse. She enjoys the psychological damage she causes others. She revels in it. She is the textbook definition of the monster that the kind look in their closet for. She's just the kind to wait in their closet for the perfect chance to give the biggest nightmares.
At one point, you thought you had seen Raiden somewhere before. I'm guessing at the time he was with Amelia.
Wasn't sure. I'm still not 100% positive, but yeah. I think I know where I remember him from. Nasty business. Real nasty business, actually. Emilio does something he never does normally when he's talking with. He actually goes and sits in a chair. It was right around the time I met you. It's pretty easy. I didn't stay every day at the winery, so I did other things for people. And there was one of the kindred in the court, Ronaldo. He was known to really like his family, kept track of his line, his lineage, his living relatives. And then one day, in the paper, a wedding party was killed. It was his granddaughter's. Everybody there was dead. It happened. That's one of the reasons we isolate ourselves from family, right? Even I did that. Came out later what had happened. When the granddaughter got engaged, everything was going along fine until one day she apparently had a new lover. Slowly but surely, this lover convinced her not to get married, to call the wedding off. She showed up at the chapel, and right there at the altar, called it off. Broke groom's heart, broke the family's heart, shocked everybody, couldn't believe that the whole thing of it all.
Surprised she had as much power as she did to do that.
Well, it's worse than you think, because after she broke it off, that granddaughter went to leave with the man who'd come in with her, Braden. Right there in front of the family, he killed her. After crushing this groom's heart, crushing his dreams, right in front of all of them, he killed her. We only found that part out from one of the Tremere. Had a little trick he could do to see a scene that had happened. And then she stepped out of the shadows. While they were standing there in shock, she proceeded to dance among them. The shadows and her. She killed everyone. All the guests. Bride, groom, groomsmen. All of them. She'd already won. She'd already destroyed the marriage, broken their heart. Wasn't enough for her. No, that was the appetizer. Turns out Ronaldo had messed up a business deal she was doing. He didn't even know he was messing with it. And that was her response. Last I heard, Ronaldo's line is gone. She found and killed every living descendant of him. He was so proud of his family's lineage of being able to track his descendants, knowing where each of them was. She took them all from him. She's a monster. Yeah, I'm terrified. Because in all those years, we knew what she had done. We couldn't catch her. We couldn't stop her. And you can bet a number of us tried. Yeah, I'm just a ghoul. I'm not a kindred. But they gave me the freedom to move in daylight. So I was part of the hunt. We'd catch a whiff of her. sightings. Think we got a good lead. We go and pursue it. It'd be an ambush, or her taunting us, or her toying with us, or her expressing that she thought it was fun. It was all a game to her. She's horrible. And now she's here. And now she wants to kill you. I meant what I said. I'm going to die first. Because there's no way in hell she's going to get you. And leave me with that. With Ronaldo's grief of losing what matters to him. And being left. She never killed him. She left him that way. So he could live his eternal life knowing it was gone. Now, it's not a story I like to tell, can you tell?
I mean, I've been with you how long and we haven't heard this?
It was a rough time. It was right when I first started working for your family, so it was... You know, I'll admit it, there's times when... Sometimes I regret what I did. That I'm the one who, when I started working with your family, told her that you would make a good... Well, I'm not going to say servant. You would make a valuable ally inside to achieve her goals.
I mean, never regret that. It wasn't exactly like by the end of it we had much of a choice. It was what Luca had done.
That part's true, but you know, the one thing I've learned in all my time being what I am, I never trust coincidences. Or I think she made Luca. No, you can't blame your kind for all the evil people in the world. There's a lot of bad people. But let's be fair. If she really cared, she could have stepped in long before that and done something about it. I wasn't allowed to step in. I was bound to her.
Well, we know I wasn't Vivian's first choice. I think she made a few... had I guess, a bit of doubt and a reason to wait.
You may not have been her first choice, but I can tell you now, she was always proud of you. She was always happy with who you were. You know, I don't know if the Izzy would have met the same approval, but I do know you did. So you should never let the fact that you weren't the first choice weigh you down. She set high standards, and you met them. I don't know this Izzy, this ghost or whatever, but who knows if she would have met him, but you did. So don't forget that.
I mean, it is because of Izzy that we're kind of in this situation to begin with.
Yes and no. It's because of Vivian's choices. And in some ways, my choices. That's why I said I pointed you out to her. You wouldn't be in this if I hadn't done that. That's the funniest part is she didn't know what you looked like before I pointed you out to her. Now you know why I say I don't believe in coincidences.
I mean, with that, I don't know what else it could have been. If you hadn't seen Izzy,
I was with her,
sounds
but
like a
she didn't let me. I was in town with her at the time, but I wasn't able to be part of any of that. And I was her cupbearer. But yeah, don't underestimate this woman. She's here. If she's got her mark on you, she's going to play her game. She wants to see you lose what matters most to you. She wants to see him lose what matters most to him. And anyone who gets in the way, she's going to do the same too.
That includes you. You know that, right? Don't be a pawn in her game and your desire to protect me.
I won't, but ultimately, given the choice, me before you.
She expects that, and she'll use it to her advantage.
I honestly almost wish it was someone like Tally who had marked you. He's efficient. He doesn't play games when what he's doing. When he decides someone's got to die, he kills them cleanly, effectively, and leaves. Not her.
I guess the difference is we can create the most interesting game for her and make it fun for her to drag it out a bit. We can lead her to our solution,
My guess
our
is
outcome.
right now, she is finding out everything she can about you, about him, the rest of your coterie, who they associate with. She's figuring out who to hit first to cause you the most emotional damage and put you off kilter, so that your friend Nicholas will be off kilter because you're the surrogate for his sister. She's learning all she can now. She's only quiet because she's planning. When she begins to strike, it'll be obvious. Had we known about Braden, we'd have realized what was going on with Ronaldo's lineage. But as a general rule among your kind, you try not to involve the kind in those kind of wars. At least we didn't back then. It's changed a bit now, I think.
Yes, you did. In different ways.
We didn't murder entire churches of people.
No, you had them murder entire villages instead.
That was a goal, not as revenge. Big difference.
So it was for a business decision instead. My mistake. That makes it so much less monstrous.
Come on, Isabella, you know there's more to it than the business decision. It was a power play, a maneuver. Like everything. The business was only one aspect. Positioning. As Vivian always used to like to say, if you want to be head bitch, you got to make sure the heads are rolling.
The lines are very thin here. There's very, if any, distinction between that and Amelia choosing her path to roll heads for it to be head bitch.
I couldn't have done what she did. I wouldn't have murdered a whole church of innocents like that. There was no gain in it. Especially at that time.
I never thought that killing that many people would ever be beneficial is not the right word. It does put some of Amelia's actions into perspective, and at least I know I'd be willing to do the same things.
Don't become like her.
I don't intend to. Or some petty business. This is personal.
You enjoy your revenge. But I don't see you as the type to go out of your way to cause suffering to those who weren't even involved in it.
No.
She could have
Not
stopped at the
now.
wedding. She could have stopped at the bride and groom. She could have killed them two right there in front of everybody. To wipe out a whole church of people. That was done to show she could. There was no point in it. It was just gratuitous. Remember, you got to hold on to what makes you you.
I don't intend to do more than is necessary. I guess I just mean that should push come to shove, I know what I'm capable of as a result of those things.
That's Vivian's influence. You're a lot like her.
Hard to spend that much time with someone and not be.
She made decisions to help shape you. You know how that works. She guided you certain directions. And it's right about this time, he was about to start talking some more when your phone, you receive a text. It's from Jackie.
Oh,
What's the
I
text say?
guess.
The group is going to visit the madam. Please join us.
Guess it's time for a field trip, Emilio. You be safe. Don't do anything ridiculous.
Oh, I will.
Anything beyond the usual, I'll rephrase.
Well, I mean, okay. Look, I haven't burned anything down in this city.
I said beyond the usual. Just don't fuck with Amelia.
I don't even think I've gotten to the usual. We've been in this area since the convention. I haven't burned anything to the ground yet. I'm on good behavior still.
If you had, I wouldn't want to know about it. Plausible deniability.
Oh, I understand. I don't know. It just seems like around here, I think another Chicago Great Fire wouldn't look well on our resume.
That's a bit extreme
Right.
now, I'll be honest.
It wouldn't look good. But you need me to drive you, or are you going to handle it?
Would you drive me?
Of course. Let me go get the car ready. And now that the whole coterie, I will let the whole coterie respond to the text that Jackie sent, and Jackie respond to Roscoe's text.
And Jackie responds to Roscoe, "We will all go."
And I look at it, and well, Nicholas, looks like it's going to be a group field trip. See the madam.
Awesome.
Isabella sends a gif of like a funeral dirge and like funeral procession.
Well, you
I
got
think
your
that actually, like, Nicholas would see that, and I think it would immediately make him like a very small chuckle that only Roscoe sees, and then immediately he just stops.
So where's
Well,
the
you-
coterie meeting?
you got your object there, Nicholas, that we want to take?
Oh yes, I have all of them.
Okay.
So where's the coterie meeting before you go see the madam, or are you just all going to take separate vehicles to pull up at her house outside of her building?
We'll take separate vehicles
Okay.
because Jackie's at Jenny's restaurant and Etienne's in the car. So,
Okay, so everybody give me wits awareness.
instinct supply?
Sure, I like that.
Concealed objects.
Sure, why not? Wow, Isabella. Very nice.
She's on high alert.
Mhm.
Not as much as Jenny with those crits, though.
I know, Jenny with a crit. Very nice. Wow, Jenny, you're going to just keep going with it, aren't you?
That's 2 crits. Because it's 4 total crit die. That's 2 crits.
Yeah. So that increases it by even more. So she went up to 10, makes it 12, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive. That is a crazy amount of crit. So we got a 12 with a crit.
I got 5.
I got 4.
Isabella got 6. So for Isabella, we'll start yours with your 6. As you head out, Emilio drives you towards the madam's place. 6. I should probably roll against that one. Let me see. As you go to leave your place and you pull out, and just as the car is driving away, you notice a section of shadow detach itself briefly from a wall. And then it's lost to the city.
She'll flip the bird at the shadow.
Okay.
Just
Now,
because she's being petty.
Jenny and just being petty. I get it. Jenny and Jackie, as you're driving, Jenny has no way.
I was gonna say, Genevieve's also gonna flip on Eyes of the Beast because she usually does when they're in a car,
Mhm.
since
Yeah, it's no
she likes
rouse
to be able
check.
to see. So, do what?
There's no rouse check for it. So,
Oh, I know. No, the rouse check was from the blood surge.
right. I know. It's easy to flip on. You know, as you're heading out, are you riding in Jackie's car with her, or are you in your own vehicle? There's a question.
You could have rode with Jackie if you wanted.
She's just gonna buddy up. So
As you're riding out, you notice. I mean, it's a busy night at your restaurant. There's people waiting outside. It's a nice night at least, so that they're waiting outside while waiting for a table to open up because they didn't make reservations. And well, if you don't make reservations, you wait and hope and pray there's a cancellation that you can get in on. You notice at one point as the car is pulling away with Etienne driving, the crowd seems to part for no one. I mean, a clear lane opens right through the people. They don't seem to realize they're doing it, but there's nobody there.
Do you let Jackie know that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey Jackie, could you look back over this way towards the sidewalk and see if you see anybody?
I'm going to use Sense the Unseen.
Okay.
I am going to
So that
do a
is
surge on that.
okay. It'll be resolve all specs, and you'll surge it. So give yourself extra dice there because you'll need them.
And I actually get is it +1 for my blood potency or
For
just for all my disciplines?
disciplines is I'm pretty sure +1. Let me pull it up because
For
you know
blood
we're out of
potency 3?
we're out of practice. Blood surge is 3 dice. Discipline power bonus is 1 die.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Because I know it doesn't include that.
If you hit tables in Fantasy Grounds, there's a blood potency table you can pull up to look at. Six.
I am going to willpower.
7.
Mm-hmm.
7 successes.
With a crit.
With a crit. The crit's the important part.
And let me rouse for my surge. Ooh, I got a little hungry.
As you're looking, there is the vague outline of somebody that was walking through and the crowd parting for them.
Well, if it's obfuscate, I should see through it.
But what you see it is a person for sure. But you can't quite tell what. The shadows seem awful drawn to in that area with them. It's almost like it's obfuscate.
And oblivion.
Probably a combination. That would be a good guess. Or something else is. It's almost like it's a hazy area your eyes are wanting to slide away from. Even though you managed to see it. And as the car pulls away, it moves faster.
Towards the car?
Towards the car. But then it jumps, and you lose sight of it when it jumps. Once the blur hit the night sky and it had no lights to really shine behind it, you lost it.
I believe that might have been a Nosferatu.
So something was there.
Mm-hmm. I
Figures.
couldn't get a good look. It's like I could see it, but even though I could see it, it's still my eyes didn't want to focus on it.
Wow, neat tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. That was
Yeah.
No, I caught the line out front was parting. People were moving out of the way. with
Literally
no one there,
was running
so-
towards the vehicle as we were pulling away and then took a leap. I figure it's a
Oh.
Nosferatu.
Oh, well, I've seen that jumping trick before.
Yes.
So. Great.
Well, I heard that Antoine Saya is coming to the city, so who knows? Maybe he's already here.
I was gonna say, if they'd been more, we knew better who it was. I was gonna say maybe we just have Etienne pull the car over. We'll go over and make their acquaintance by punching them through the fucking wall. So, you know.
Not tonight. Let's go see the madam. If they want to follow me, they can follow me there.
Look, anything excuse to get out of going to the madam. So punching somebody into the sidewalk, into a wall, fighting down a back alley somewhere. All way better.
Oh, Jenny, for you doing this, I will take you to the strip club.
Oh, okay. No more complaints.
Okay.
And as you all are riding over with the boys' car, y'all don't really see anything out of the ordinary. Just not enough successes, I don't think, or nothing was following you. You can take your pick. I'll leave that up to you to decide whether you're being followed or not.
I figure Nicholas is probably more mentally preparing himself for both the madam and the ladies.
I mean, that's actually pretty fucking valid from your point of view. And as you all pull up, you arrive at different times, but I'm going to give you a scene before you head into the building because I think people have questions about why you're actually here tonight. And we'll assume you've all managed to gather before you have this brief talk.
So what is going on?
I asked Roscoe to join me, and after a conversation, he raised a good point that perhaps we needed adults with us.
Join you for what?
Yes, you conveniently left that part out.
You know our friend Benway.
Yes.
I procured some items that have since become problematic.
Those are the rings.
One in particular.
Oh,
Fancy curses on that one.
I found myself with no agency and a strange appetite.
oh,
How strange is strange.
Do you know how I feed? I feed off of the dead because my bite is not as enjoyable as most.
hmm.
That is what we got from the reunion. While investigating the young woman's remains.
She was thin
found
blood,
my-
yes?
Oh, yes. I found myself with a lapse of time having eaten part of her organs.
You did this unaware?
You see why I believed it was a problem.
I believe that might be the understatement of the century. Yes, this is a good idea, to bring it to the madam. Now,
Happened just the once.
As far as I am aware.
oh bloody hell. Well, if anything does come to you, please let me know so we can make sure it is cleaned up. All right. Roscoe, I'm not sure if you ever intended to do such, but please inform the madam of your associate Benway selling cursed objects.
Yeah, that was my intent. It was a happy coincidence that Nicholas needed to go too at the
Yes.
same time.
I am going to ask her about the spy. The one.
And Nicholas will actually pull like a small baggie out of his pocket. I intend to dispose of all of Benway's
Good idea.
gifts I've acquired.
Good idea. If you need certain antiquities or heirlooms, let me know. I have contacts. That are
Unfortunate. It was
reputable.
it was a very nice ring.
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure we can get you another one. Does not have this trait.
Unfortunately,
Yes, well, let us go in.
Before you go in, Nicholas, talking about what you had done makes you realize that wasn't honoring the dead in the way that it should. And you have an unresolved stain from that activity. Please roll 4 dice. Two successes. That is enough for you to conceptualize what made you break it. And though the guilt is still there, your humanity does remain intact for now.
Yeah, I think Nicholas, he would try and like rationalize that it doesn't mean as much because, you know, there are rituals where this happens, where people consume parts of other people, but the loss of agency and not doing it properly is, I think, the thing that definitely haunts him the most about it. It's not performing the ritual in the right way, showing the proper respect while performing it, and it, yeah.
And as you approach the building, the doorman looks at you all, and then he stops. Curious. She will see you tonight.
Thank you.
Tell her I appreciate it.
She knows. And as you go through, he opens the door. Yes?
Before Nicholas steps in, he'll just like sort of to an aside, obviously everyone's going to hear it. Steel yourself, Izzy.
And your necklace grows very cold as you do it. 1 second, I got to check something real quick.
Because I know she doesn't tend to enjoy coming here.
Well, who does? Other than the ST.
I don't know. Me as a player, I love this place.
I'm rolling something real quick. I'm going to roll for 2 different people. 8. Impressive. 1. Okay. As you're going inside, Roscoe, you know something odd about the doorman. He is a person, obviously. But there's also it's almost as if there's a shadow attached to him that is just a few millimeters outside of his body. You catch edges and pieces of it. It's just a dark shadow that's around, that peeks out sometimes from the side of his head, sometimes his arm, sometimes his eyes. His eyes are the ones that never, there's a shadow deep inside it that is not natural, because you know this is your sense unseen. This is your, and being in tune with the supernatural side. His eyes are not right. Just a dark shadow in the eyes. And as you all step in, he opens the door, but he doesn't look back. And nobody in the building looks back. And because I ended up getting a critical success with 8 successes on a passive sense the unseen roll, you notice every person working here has the same kind of an odd shadow attached to it. Every person in the lobby, the 4 or 5 that seem to be hanging around, one's reading a newspaper, one's got an e-reader in front of them. They all have the same thing.
Okay. Do I notice, is there enough detail for me to notice if it's like the exact same shadow in each one?
It's different. But you notice that as you head to the elevator, and as you all get to the elevator, the door slides open. No delay. And you all climb into the elevator. We'll give you all a scene as you ride up in this elevator that's quiet, no music. It's hard to even tell it's moving. I'll let you all have a discussion.
As soon as we get in, Nicholas will put on Oblivion Sight, expecting to see the elevator full as it's been generally in the past.
It's not. But there is something. It's a spirit. It's hanging from the ceiling, watching you all. It's kind of twisted. It's on all fours, and it's actually almost grabbing into the ceiling with its hands and its elongated feet. And as it looks at you, its eyes are, well, flames. And it just watches you.
Nicholas will like look up at it and then just kind of like tilt his head while he's looking up and he'll speak to it.
Okay.
Curious.
It doesn't make a noise. It just watches.
Is there anybody inside me right now, Nicholas? Is it ending my dry spell?
Your dry spell is intact, Genevieve.
Fuck. This fucking city can't even get me where I need to get when I need it.
I don't believe you would want this one anywhere near your innards.
You don't know what I want up in my guts, Nicholas.
That's fair.
And as you're having this discussion and you're talking, it shifted its gaze to Jenny briefly, and the fingers, they elongate out a bit longer, become even more claw-like as it looks at Jenny, but then when it looks back to you, the claws shrink back in.
You may get your wish yet, Jenny.
Sweet. Whatever. Everyone's always so dour. I had to lighten the mood a little bit.
As you ride up this elevator, I know you all don't like to have conversations in her elevator, at least nothing important. As the door opens up on her floor, we're going to go to break, everybody. We're going to stop right here and take a break before we enter this next scene. So please, everybody, speculate and chat with what that was on the ceiling and what's about to happen to him in her lair, because change is something new for her that should worry everybody. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Enjoy the break.
Allow me to introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, and that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story from the lips of Bathory? They call me Blood-sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, youthful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Is your blood Bathory? keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered. All my confessors were all tortured, or how they destroyed me for my property. They put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, put me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Bathory. That sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, youthful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Elizabeth Bathory. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator who can't remain the prey, you have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you? Or is it me? Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin I will help you see that you can be limitless and fearless if you follow me. We are the lions in the words of lions. We are the predators, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin to burrow within. Do you burrow within? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive?
Welcome back. Before the break, I hope you watched it. Otherwise, just go back and watch it. I'm not going to summarize right now.
We
They're
are
at
at
the
the
Madams.
Madams.
They're at the Madams. And as you step off the elevator into this hallway again, Nicholas, that thing does not follow you, which I'm sure is a plus for you. As you're standing there, you begin to get a headache, which Kindred don't normally get, but you're getting one.
I will drop Oblivion Sight and see if that helps at all.
It does. The headache immediately starts to ease up. And as you walk down the hall, her door is different than last time. Tonight, it is carved in symbols, top to bottom.
Do any of the symbols, like I've got history and like Thanatology,
Intelligence,
does
occult.
anything would the Thanatology
Sure. Go
apply?
ahead. Anyone with occult can roll if they wish. Intelligence, occult. Roscoe, you can even add one for your grimoires because you have a grimoire specialty, so go ahead. Got a 4
That ain't
from
bad.
Nicholas.
2 on 3 dice.
That's actually pretty good. Pretty good. Roscoe, better than Roscoe's. 2 on 7 dice.
Yeah.
I used up all of your good rolls doing a passive Auspex roll. So it is what it is. Nicholas, you've got a 4. You willpowering, or you good with 2 for now, Roscoe? You're muted. I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
With a 4, Nicholas, they are magical in nature. You're not quite sure what they mean, but you know these are not just put on there by nobody. Some of them you can somewhat recognize. They deal with the realm of the dead. Some of them deal with the realm of the living, and a lot of them you have no clue what they are. But as you step near the door, it opens up. And once again, this ancient man is standing there in a tuxedo. The madam did not foresee you were coming tonight, but she will see you.
Thank
Please
you.
follow
My
me.
apologies for the unexpected visit.
And he just turns, doesn't say a word, and walks towards the library.
We follow.
As you all follow, you're pretty sure there's different things in here, or maybe just stuff was moved around a bit. It's not quite in the same order. It's hard to tell, but you do know for sure there's no dust, which the collection like this is pretty impressive. But once you get to the library and the door is opened and you step inside, it's the same library as always. Floor to ceiling, rows of books, all neatly ordered, all apparently sorted. I will return with the madam. And he turns and exits by the other door as you all sit in there. Though tonight you'll notice there's no chairs in the room.
She didn't foresee us coming.
Just how Nicholas likes it, just standing there.
I know you're not going to have a lot of talk when she's coming. And when the door opens in her wheelchair, though this one, the last one was maybe within the past 40 years. Tonight, she seems to be in one. Well, Jackie, in your youth, you would have seen one that looks like this as she is wheeled in on it. With the blanket she has in her lap tonight is tattered, almost moth-eaten in a few places, because you see glimpses of her hands under it. And as soon as the wheelchair stops, the butler's head dips and hers lifts. You have come.
Thank you for seeing us unannounced.
I am curious. I did not expect you for another month.
Nicholas, please.
I've come to ask potentially a very large favor, understanding that favors require payment.
And her head dips and the butler's comes up and he looks, almost stares through you. You have brought gifts. I see them. We feel
And
them.
Nicholas will pull the bag out of his pocket, and it's got 6 rings.
Thought it was 7.
No, one of them got
one of
given.
them went to
One
Keisha.
of them went to Keisha. That is correct.
Yep.
And he looks at
And
it.
you'll notice, like, Nicholas sort of, like, he'll pour them out of the bag onto his hand, but very, like, clearly sets one apart from the others.
And he actually walks over and he kind of waves his hand over it. And then he walks back to the madam and his head dips and hers comes up. Curse touched.
Correct.
Do you wish to know where it come from? Is that your desire?
My immediate concern is the fact that one of these has become an immediate concern.
So you wish,
And
and her head dips and his comes up, to stash them here so that the link is broken.
correct. And Nicholas like looks around. You have many reportedly cursed objects in your collection. I apologize if the assumption is unwarranted, but logic dictated that you had some way of dispelling the curse while they're in your possession.
The curse cannot be broken. But here, where we live, it can take no hold. And his head dips and hers comes up. There will be a price. Will you pay the price?
Yes.
You and your friends tore a hole in something that should not be torn. And her head dips and his comes up. And you left it. You must repair what you broke. You must seal it back. That is the price.
Agreed.
And the old woman's hand lifts and she gestures towards it. You see the butler's hand come up with her as he starts stepping forward, and they're matching their movements as he picks them up. And he actually pulls out of a drawer a small box, and he just lays the whole bag in the box and closes the lid on it.
Do I need to make any sort of roll because the one is attached, or because we're here, it's not linking to me?
For some reason, you have no problem handing it to him.
Then Nicholas will do so gladly.
The deal is sealed. And both of them's head dips for a bit. You don't know why, they both. And they sit that way for 3 minutes. And then the butler's comes up. There are questions, I know. Ask.
Roscoe,
And
please.
as soon as she says that, Nicholas is going to like bow, but then step backwards because his part immediately is done. So the other people who wanted to talk to her can.
Yeah, madam, the rings in question came into Nicholas's possession through an acquaintance of mine, who seems to have been forced into the role of distributing cursed items as part of his price for being made kindred. They're coming from someplace in the Mideast, and every one of them is cursed in some fashion or another. I have some limited insight into the curses of each one if I touch them. But there seems to be some larger game at play. I don't quite understand why they're being distributed throughout Chicago.
There was a price for this as well.
I will pay it.
I see shackles. And then I see, and his head drop and hers comes up, him shackled to another, who is shackled to another, who is shackled. Something very old. The items are here for a purpose. They seek someone. Someone in particular. And when that debt is paid, the items will cease to come. And her head drops and his comes up. I cannot tell who they're meant for. But it is for a single person in this city.
So many. Just so many that in hopes that one of them would reach the intended.
Their enemy. They do not know well enough to know which item would fascinate them. So they vary. If a cheese does not take, or a mouse does not take the cheese you put out, you change the cheese. And their head drops, or his head drops and hers comes up. And in time you find which is the right bait. But you have something else. You have something that did not come from the shackles.
I do. I have a book that is undescribably old, which I'm completely unable to decipher. There's a continuous flowing script from beginning to end.
You cannot read it.
No,
No
I
one
cannot.
can read it. Those who can read it are behind the shroud. That book has been lost and should remain lost. Do not bring it here.
I will not.
And her head dips and his comes up. You will be contacted with the price when we are ready.
Understood.
We have a visitor. And both of them's head dip, and as their head dip, you hear the outer door crash open. The one that you'd come in originally. And you hear muffles of some kind. You can't tell what it is. It's somebody trying to scream, but they don't seem to be able to make a lot of noise. And then the library door opens, and you all plainly see this twisted creature with fire in its eyes. And it holds a struggling woman in front of him. A woman Roscoe recognizes quite well. It holds Samantha. And she's got a collar on her neck that it seems to be holding. And as soon as she comes in, the old woman's head comes up. You violated the sanctity of my house. Why? And her eyes just cut to you, Roscoe. It's right here, Roscoe. You realize that silver bracelet is actually in your pocket. You don't remember it being there, but it's in your pocket. You're pretty sure you put it down before you came, though.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I did. I mean, I wouldn't have been wearing. I haven't been wearing it for quite some time now, since she's been put away.
And she tries to talk, but you realize she can't. And the butler actually, you notice, is looking at you, Roscoe. Why has she come?
And she follows me. She is intensely jealous, and she stalks me. She keeps track of my location at all times.
And when you say that, her eyes widen a bit, and you actually see a tear trickle down from one of Samantha's eyes, but she doesn't seem to be able to talk or move. She tries. There's almost like little yips, almost like she's crying or screaming, but Nothing is working. What shall I do with her? She has violated domain.
What is the usual penalty for that?
She becomes one of mine. And the butler's head comes up and the madam's comes up. And she crosses the shroud.
How would I have any say in what your actions would be?
There is always a say.
This
I
is your
suppose-
domain. You rule it as you see fit.
What's the cost for her safety?
Very shrewd. There is always a price. I am not prone to saying the cost before you agree. This is my
Very
domain.
aware.
And her head
Yes,
drops and his comes up. This is mine. She is mine. Unless you pay otherwise.
I already owe you for a previous favor tonight.
I'll pay the cost.
And her head actually turns. Interesting. I did not see that. Very well. She will return to you as you leave. And the creature actually grabs the collar, and you just see him drag her back out of the room as the door closes. It has been many centuries since a mage stepped into my domain. And then her head dips and his comes up again. And he looks over. Ask if you have questions.
I do. I believe there are spies in this city tied very closely to the court of this city that are working with the Sabbat.
I can read it in your soul. You wish the spies of the shadow dancers.
Yes.
Shadows attract shadows. Shadows gather shadows. Where there is one, they multiply. Your spy is in the shadows like them.
So it is other La Sombra.
That is correct.
What of others?
Others what?
It is only La Sombra they are using?
They have mortals.
Hmm.
The quick are easy to control. But those are just information.
Understood.
Beware. Do not trust those who walk the shadows. Do not believe they have seen light. And his head drops and hers comes up. If they had seen the light, the shadows would be cast away.
Thank you. You have confirmed something I was suspecting.
We will contact you when the time comes due.
Understood.
Is this meeting at an end?
Well, thank you for sparing Samantha. I understand that it was a cost to be paid, but you didn't have to do that.
Were I to make her one of mine, she would lose what made her useful. What makes her useful to all.
What makes her useful also makes her a threat.
And the madam's eyes look at you, and both of them's head are up at this one. Though the butler speaks, though both of them are looking at you, she is no threat here. Not where I stand. This is mine. And I will unleash the tempest before I let it be taken from me.
Understood.
And then both of them's head dips, and the butler turns and wheels her out of the room, just leaving you all standing there.
Let us go.
And as you walk to leave this place, you notice the door is different again. The symbols have moved and shifted. And as you're watching and approaching the door, the symbols are moving. You can see them moving. And when you leave the room and step onto the elevator, as soon as the elevator door opens, Samantha hurls herself out of the elevator and just wraps Roscoe in a giant hug as she's just pouring tears.
As soon as Nicholas sees Samantha, he's gonna like walk up and then just sort of like lay his hand on her shoulder as sort of a comforting gesture, which is really, really odd for him. But I'm gonna cast Obeah or use Obeah just to try and calm her down.
Very interesting. You are going to roll composure plus Auspex, and you will have to do a
Yeah, I
rouse
gotta do
check
a
afterwards.
rouse. Yep.
Generally, you should roll it after because the way Fantasy Ground does it, but you failed it, so.
Whatever. Composure, Auspex.
Yep, composure and Auspex. And in this place, your beast says nothing. Not a whisper, not a hint. Nothing. And we will see what you get for your Obeah. Three successes. Okay. And she seems to calm down a bit as he touches her like that, and you all don't know he's doing anything, but for some reason, there's a sigh that escapes her lips after he touches her shoulder.
So they've seen me use this before.
Yes, but there's no obvious sign you did anything other than
That's
she
fair.
sighs and she kind of loosens your grip on Roscoe a bit. I'm sorry I followed you.
Don't be sorry, but I am sorry you were caught.
You're welcome.
I owe you for that, Isabella.
And she actually turns and looks at you, Isabella. And she does something you've not seen from her. She smiles. None of you have seen her smile at anyone other than Roscoe.
And Nicholas will look over at Isabella.
Thank you.
If you find yourself incapable of paying the debt, I'll pay it.
And she pulls out of her pocket a bracelet woven together. And she presses it into your hand, Isabella. If you need help, burn this. I will come.
I figured this probably goes without saying, but things can not continue on in this manner. It's not safe for anyone.
Has to stop.
And she looks over at Roscoe. But I love him. I don't care what he is.
Jenny just clucks her tongue and she's like, child, get your ass back on the fucking elevator. Let's get the hell out of here.
Care if you love him. You don't chase him here, of all places.
I didn't know what this was.
That's
Well,
an
now
even
you're-
bigger reason why you don't just run blindly into some place.
And as you get
Oh,
on the
Nicholas-
elevator, she actually looks at you. You know what this is, don't you?
Yes.
No. And she looks at Roscoe. Roscoe, it's a nexus. Straddles 4 different ley lines that I didn't know were here until I got in the building.
Makes it pretty powerful.
So, did you continue to proceed on after that?
They grabbed me in the lobby. That thing. Slapped a collar on my neck. I couldn't touch the spheres. I couldn't do anything. Franklin would be amazed if he knew about this.
Nicholas at that point is going to like look her dead in the eye. What this is you never come back here.
Not any of your kind.
It's dangerous
Yes.
enough for us.
How about this, Samantha? You have this bracelet. I'm sure you can get another one, like holding up the one that she gave me. Give Roscoe one that has the same effect. If he goes into a situation where that's a tracker. I don't know if it does the same thing. If it does the same thing as mine and he really needs you and goes into a situation where he can't have you, he promises to use it.
It doesn't track. I will know if someone else is holding it or wearing it other than the one I gave it to. That's it.
And I reached out and pat in my pocket, like, I don't recall putting this in my pocket today.
And her head actually her eyes drop down to the floor. And she kind of shuffles a bit. Sorry.
How did you manage this?
It's not,
I haven't seen you for ages.
it's not
where have you been?
hard.
I thought Franklin had you locked up somewhere.
No, I'm not locked up. I'm just on, you can call it the restriction. I'm not supposed to leave the city. I'm not supposed to do things like slip things into people's pockets.
Well, consider this building part of your restriction.
She gets a look you haven't, Roscoe, you've only seen her when she's talking about magic. It's that curiosity that burns in her. Franklin has to hear about this place. He has to find out. This is amazing.
If you tell anyone about this place and they come here, there is no second chance.
Their death is on your hands.
Mhm.
You were lucky I was here this time. And I
She
wasn't
will
going to
destroy
watch
any
something.
that violate her domain.
This is your one saving chance.
And her
You
eyes
get
again
no
cut to Roscoe.
others.
You know what we were capable of, or that you were
Mhm.
capable of. He could do it. She won't collar him.
That's- I wouldn't count on that. She's
Is that a
vastly
risk?
she's vastly more powerful than you realize.
A risk
Yeah.
you're willing to take.
And the threat that she holds over us is releasing the Tempest.
What do
I
you-
imagine those ley lines, I don't have any experience, but I imagine that typically you'd be able to sense those ley lines from probably a bit further away than the lobby.
We mapped them. We know where they all are.
Exactly. Except these.
That's what's so
That should give you an
interesting.
indication. That should give you an indication of her power and what she's capable of.
For you, Roscoe, I'll keep my mouth shut. But if
Thank
he
you.
delves my mind again, I won't be able to hide it.
No, I understand that.
It's own fault at that point.
And she actually, you see her as the elevator's still moving, she comes over and she just slips her hands in Roscoe's. When's movie night?
Let's get out of here first.
And when the elevator comes to the bottom and opens up, the lobby is empty. There's nobody. It's deserted. No doorman, nothing. And as you step out, she kind of looks nervous for a minute, and she eyeballs all of you, looks towards the building, eyeballs all of you, looks towards the building. I'll come see you in a day or two, Roscoe.
Okay.
And you see her walk over to a little Subaru that was parked out front and hops in it. And on the back as she drives away
I
is a
make
bumper
note
sticker.
of the tag.
Okay. On the back is a bumper sticker. It says, "My other car's a broom."
If that little child's bullshit causes Isabella any trouble, I will kill her myself, Roscoe. I don't care about your attachment to her.
I'll deliver her straight to the prince.
Keep the attachment, but this can't go on in this way.
Isabella, I owe you for that. Name whatever you name.
You want to
My
keep
name?
your pet?
Go ahead, Jenny.
No. I was just gonna say, if you want to keep your fucking pet around, you should embrace it, or do what she did and put a fucking collar on it.
My ask is that you prevent something like this from happening again.
So, I think you all have stuff to discuss, but I don't think you're going to talk about it even here, outside the building.
Does Jenny get a text?
You've been in there for 5 hours. Thankfully, you came here early enough. Yes, there is a text waiting on you. It's from Tasha. She sent it 3 hours ago. Something on the video, you won't believe this. You got to see it.
The night's news just gets fucking better. I would appreciate it if you would all join me at Phoenix.
Let's go.
So you all take your separate vehicles. Does anyone need a conversation? We got Roscoe and Nicholas riding together. Emilio is taking Isabella, unless Isabella decides to ride with Jackie and Jenny, and then Emilio will follow behind. It's up to Isabella, and then Jackie and Jenny.
She's going with Amelia.
Okay. Anyone need to have a conversation on the ride?
Yes, Jackie is going to vent to Jenny.
Would you like to make a scene of that?
Yes, just a brief one.
Okay, there you go. I will do that one first, and then I'll see if anyone else needs a scene.
You know, we correct one fool's mistake, and then the other fool makes another goddamn mistake. Jesus Christ.
I agree. I was probably, people would probably view me as being harsh to that child, but she
I
is
was
a
ready to
fucking
let her
fool.
get got.
Oh, I know. I was about to ask the madam if I could do her the favor, if I could be so kind as to, if she'd be so kind as to let me slit her fucking throat for her. Just get it over with. I
mean, I know
serious.
Franklin wants her to be preserved because she supposedly got untapped potential. But you know what? If the girl is too fucking crazy to not wander into places just because Roscoe's there.
Yeah. Yes, the attachment issue is a problem.
Yes.
And as I said, I don't appreciate somebody external causing problems for the coterie when we already have enough fucking problems.
And I don't appreciate
no offense,
interrupting our business meeting.
Yeah. And Isabella
I know.
now is on the hook for her bullshit. That's why I'm dead serious. I will fucking her fucking head off if I have to. I don't give a shit. That is I'm trying to be cool here.
I
but
know.
Like totally fucked up that why is Chicago built on a slope and all the shit just rolls downhill in our fucking laps? Like, Roscoe should have fixed this problem months ago. As soon as she burned that fucking club to the ground, he should have been like, you know what?
Just
Too
not
hot
offer.
for me. Yeah. Can't tell him that though, because he apparently thinks she's a sweet pudding. I wonder if that's the first time he's ever, I don't know. Maybe it's his first love, and his heart grew 2 sizes too big, and now we're all fucked because of it.
I do not know.
I will keep it more professional in the future, or attempt to. I won't go off on Roscoe again, or Isabella, or Nicholas, but that whole situation was
Well, that's why I just clamped my fucking mouth shut. I was ready.
Better woman than I. Better woman than I.
I've been called the queen of composure, but it's literally, my God. But anyway, so Tasha found something?
Yeah, she said there was something on the video that I had to see to believe.
Excellent.
Which,
well, we should be there shortly.
Yeah.
And we're done, storyteller.
Okay. And now, anyone else need to have a conversation on the ride?
I think only like during the ride, Nicholas would go over a list of items that he'll need Roscoe's help procuring.
Okay.
And it's like a list of things, very specifically, a goat tallow candle and catgut thread.
Okay. I think we can source those.
I believe I'll be able to acquire the rest.
Okay. And when the butler took the ring from you, did you feel anything as it left your possession?
I had no issue releasing it, surprisingly.
Okay, good to know.
But I do believe that went better than expected.
For the most part.
Well, until the end.
Yeah. I would appreciate Jenny not threatening me or mine, but no, I understand.
My experience with Jenny is she generally means well, but
True.
can be fierce when her beliefs lean in one direction or the other.
That's definitely a problem I have to work out.
Thankfully, I believe I understand my price from the madam. Looks like we get to take a trip back to the land of sledgehammers.
That should be fun. It's a shame Lamar's not here with us to help take care of any problems that come up.
Well, I do believe I believe this time will be more of my specialty than his, hopefully. Thank you for coming with me, Roscoe.
Anytime, Nicholas. Anytime.
As you all pull up, I assume Isabella's not going to talk to Emilio.
No, she's fuming.
And he just, he picks up well on your moods. He just keeps, you see him cutting his eyes at you as he's driving, but he knows better. Last time he saw you fuming like this, you shot at Nicholas. So he's really just going to keep and lay low for a little bit until you get there. And when you get to the restaurant, it's closed at this hour. It's well past when it would be open. And when you get inside, Tasha's down in the lower level where an extensive array of cameras and monitors have been set up. It's not somewhere that most of the staff has access to for obvious reasons, but it is a massive security with recording set up down there.
Genevieve leads everybody there. Apologies, Tasha, for the delay. I was held up.
I figured you'd get to me when you got to me. I'm used to you sometimes being too busy to respond right away. Hello, everybody. Jenny, you've got to see this. This is some weird shit. I'm still learning about your kind, but this is weird.
Okay, well, bring it up for us.
She apparently has the file waiting because it only takes her 2 clicks of a mouse before you suddenly see, early in the night, Jackie's car pull up out front. And something, a blurry shape that is a lot more distinct on the camera than, well, it's pretty distinct. You can tell what it is. It actually looked like a large bat landed and shifted into a vaguely humanoid shape right as Jackie arrived. Tasha looks over it now. It lands there. It pretty much stays there, watching the garage the whole time. And she hits, not fast forward, but she accelerates the speed of it, and it doesn't move. It's just leaning against the wall. And then, now, when you all went to leave, watch this. And she puts it back at normal speed right about the time as Jackie's car was leaving. When Jackie's car goes to leave, this shape, it starts moving and the crowd parts. Now, when you're walking down the street, generally people get out of the way of someone using obfuscate. You've never seen a crowd just part from an obfuscate, but you know what it looks like when someone's obfuscating on camera. They have obfuscate on of some kind. And the moment the car pulls off, this individual breaks into a run, jumps in the air, and you see the vaguely shape form back into a bat and immediately start following the direction Jackie's car went. And it's not a small bat, a rather large bat. She goes, now, I'm still learning what you all can do. You've taught me a lot. I don't know what this is.
On the video, does it look like it's using like Ghost in the Machine? Or does it look? It is
definitely Ghost in the Machine.
Okay.
Jackie,
so
you saw what you saw.
Looks like a shape.
You saw what you saw. It's more substantial on the video than it was for your eyes. Whatever it was doing was screwing with you, piercing it with Sensi Unseen. But it wasn't good enough to stop recorded video.
Okay.
And a matter of fact, because it's recorded video, male, roughly maybe 5'10", 5'11".
Tasha, please make sure you also find and pull the front door video. We should have one that kind of overhangs a little bit so we can get people's faces, when they come in. Don't worry about it right this second. Find that for me, though. I know we're probably not going to get a whole lot, but just in case. So
okay, I'll
Can I get
up.
a copy of that file?
Of course. Also make a copy for my friend.
And she reaches into the desk drawer and pulls out a USB stick out of a whole bunch of them that are just in there for various reasons. And she puts it in the computer, and you see her copying it over. She hands it over. Now, anything else, Jenny? I was hanging around until you responded, but I am exhausted. I need some sleep.
No. You can work on the rest of the video for me tomorrow, unless somebody else has an ask.
And I'll probably work on it while you're sleeping. I just need to get a couple hours sleep, because if I stare at this video any longer, I'm just gonna, my eyes are glazing over already.
Tasha, get your 8 while you can.
Thank you, Tasha.
Be diligent, though. You're tired. Don't want someone to take advantage of that.
I know. Jenny's taught me that part. I'll be down in the other room that I've got set up for late nights like this.
Appreciate you, Tasha.
And she steps out of the room, heading down the hall to a room that was set up just for this purpose when she has to stay this late. so she's not trying to run home, leaving you all together in this room.
Well, that was fun. So either Gangrel with some similar skill sets to my own, or Nosferatu, or who wants to take any other guesses?
I believe it was a Nos.
Kind of my feeling too, based on their general vibe. Oh, don't worry,
And
everybody.
I
I'm not
dare
gonna,
say a
you know.
European one. Not too many American Nos turn into bats.
Oh, good to know.
It is a bit on the nose.
It is a bit on the nose. Very old-fashioned.
I gotcha. Also, sorry guys, you can voice your thoughts and opinions. I won't chew all your faces off tonight.
Well, I think I had
Oh.
enough. Had that already happen. That's all right.
Oh, Roscoe, it's because I care about you. If I didn't give a
No,
shit, I
I
would have been
know.
like, Samantha, darling, please get us all killed in this fucking,
No, I
you
understand,
know.
but still.
Now that one massive clusterfuck has been figured out, some good news came of my problem.
Which
I
problem
do-
are you referring to?
The lady I ate.
There's just a few right now, so I wanted to make sure I understood.
I do believe I know the name of the individual who was processed into that ash.
Hmm.
Harvey.
Wait, you. How much did you see when you had your
And I
snack?
ate her. I saw myself in a box being staked. And I was aware that my name was Harvey. And that was about it. It seems there wasn't a lot of it in those particular organs to ingest.
So when I examined the powder that remained in the bag, I got quite a bit of information from it all in a flash. That ash is essentially crystallized kindred memory. Just some bits and pieces that I remember is that the one that was making up this lot of ash was an anarch in Indianapolis. I wonder if they're related.
Wouldn't hurt to ask. We could ask Honor if putting two and two together points to anyone in particular. At the very least, if she's has any idea about what's going on.
And if one has gone missing named Harvey, that will definitely point us in a direction.
It would really be helpful, if somewhat dangerous. I could really do with and actually a sample of ash, a pill, to be able to have that much to spirit to examine. I could probably get a great deal more information from. I mean, I'm not taking it, so I'm not risking that part of it, but still, it's not without risk.
I don't know if it's possible, but I have some connections to an individual with a lot of connections to Thin Bloods. I will see if maybe one of theirs could procure some for me.
Okay, just one pill would be enough, I think.
Well, I will see what I can do.
Okay, thank you.
I wasn't the only one who was on the camera who was watching us tonight. Someone was at my place too when I left. Someone hiding in the shadows, as per their usual. Emilio did tell me that she'll learn everything. She won't stop at just me, Nick. She'll go after all of you to learn more, learn our weaknesses. Not her first time doing this.
Hmm.
Apparently she wiped out someone's entire line. Massacred a church, etc., etc.
Well, maybe you can get her to chase us into the madams and follow.
She
She's
didn't
not
seem to do that
stupid.
tonight.
She's not stupid. She would not have survived as long as she has as a La Sombra if she was stupid.
And have gotten away with as much.
Exactly.
Those aren't small actions. You have to be very strategic and considerate of when and how you do those things.
Well, I appreciate the warning, Isabella.
I figured we were all aware that we could all be at risk.
Indeed.
But she does go for the pain first, as opposed for the kill. So you all may actually be the priority before us.
Indeed.
Great. Unlucky for her, there's individuals in this group that are willing to burn half this city over certain things that happen. So
Funny you say that. Emilio was actually just talking to me about causing another Chicago fire.
I mean, you know what? Emilio wants to go in on halvesies.
You
Just
know,
let him know.
every night I get closer.
Don't encourage him, please.
Every night I get one step closer to just saying fuck it.
It can be arranged.
I have connections that are firebugs too. 2 of them, actually.
So, am I to assume correctly that the ask for from the madam towards you guys was to go back to the shack in the woods?
That is my understanding.
That makes the most sense. Because we did tear a huge hole in the shroud.
I don't know how any of that stuff works,
Mm-mm.
but
Fortunately, in my studies, I've come across the ability to fix that particular mistake.
And you didn't do it then?
It's a new lesson I didn't know then.
old dogs learning new tricks. Love to see it, but can't afford to let you or Roscoe or both of you go out there alone because it's a dark fucking hole in the middle of nowhere. So, and since apparently Amelia DiCarlo is now our number 1 priority in a lot of sense, yeah.
The last time you all were left to your own devices there didn't go so well.
Keep rubbing it in.
Look,
We walked out.
yeah.
Some of us ran,
I didn't
and
know what
there are
the fuck
clearly
was going on.
consequences for that.
Well, I'm going to excuse myself, everyone.
Of course. Thank you for the ride.
Of
Jacqueline.
course. Thank you for accompanying me. Please have a good evening, everyone. And
Good night.
y'all see
You as well.
Jackie is obviously bothered by being tracked by a fucking Nosferatu this evening as she's leaving.
Okay. And I will.
Y'all can continue your scene, but Jackie's like, her mind is off elsewhere. She can't focus on the cabin in the woods right now.
She's decided she
think-
has something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We-
not be here.
Mhm.
We need to start organizing our problems, prioritizing them, and start ticking off the things that we can so that we aren't backlogged with so much bullshit. Because right now we have apparently a genocidal psychopath who wants to make all of us feel pain so that she can stick it to Isabella and Nicholas. We have multiple favors owed to a ancient creature in a tower. What else? Oh, we have the King of the Sewers, who is still at large. We have a Batman following Jackie, it appears. So I'm sure that will be a fun fix. So I think we should start with the easiest one. Nicholas, you claim you can fix the hole. Let's fix the hole.
Yes.
You're forgetting the rogue mage as well.
I was opting to leave that one off the table for right now in lieu of Roscoe's feelings.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome. See, I can be benevolent.
I think when Jenny actually says that, like there's a single audible when she says it, and then immediately Nicholas just like catches himself and stops.
Shit, that's right. I had another problem. We're getting dragged to the madam's house. Nicholas, your punishment. And she goes over and she just punches Nicholas as hard as she can in the gut. She knows it's not going to do anything. But yeah. And that's for the laugh. How long until we can fix
fair.
the hole?
On the right over here, I put a list together of items I need Roscoe's help in acquiring. Once we have the items, it's simply go there and perform the ritual.
Is there a timetable of expected time to take to get those ingredients?
It shouldn't pose any problem.
Awesome. I was going to say the sooner, the better. It's one thing off the fucking list.
Roscoe runs an occult bookshop. He probably has them in stock.
Right.
He might
If not, we happen to know a mage who might be able to acquire some of these items.
Ginny is going to stop for a second and look at both of them, Roscoe and Nicholas, very pointedly in the eyes. She's going to hold it for a second on one, look at the other. She's going to kind of back and forth. Please, I implore you, do not return to Benway's bookstore or whatever the hell it is. No, sorry. Benway's curiosity shop of cursed bullshit. Because if I say bookstore, you're going to be like, well, it's not really a bookstore, so technically.
Well, I do get books from there, but I get your point.
Roscoe,
First
please.
books.
No more. We need cutting items off the list, please. No more cursed objects. I beg of you both.
At least if there's not the intention to solve another problem with the cursed object, and you run it by the group first.
Yeah.
Well, we did with the ring for Keisha, but
exactly. If we have a situation like that, Benway's okay. If it's not to resolve a problem, Benway's not okay.
Yeah.
I feel it is I promise I will not buy anything else from Benway or acquire anything from Benway. I've already disposed of all of the objects I've acquired from him between our plan with Keisha and everything I gave the madam this evening.
did you give her the feathers too that came from Benway?
Those were the rings.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I appreciate the growth. I truly do. It's important that we don't make more trouble for ourselves unnecessarily, because we have shadows and Batman tracking us now, and I don't need another, like, this ring has a ghost in it and it comes out and punches you when you're asleep or something. I don't know. Like,
I assure you, the only fetter I carry at this time is my sister's.
yes. Just
I wonder if there's any way to trick Amelia with the cursed object.
Hmm.
If it's seen as something incredibly important,
Are you
I make
suggesting
her
a trip?
myself.
Are you suggesting a trip to Benway's?
For the explicit purpose of resolving another problem, yes. This is a potential. What if do we know if Amelia has seen what Izzy is fettered to?
I assume if she is watching me as she's watching you, she is probably aware that whatever it is carried on me.
And that's probably a necklace. But what if we were to find another necklace at Benway's shop? And use it as an option.
Unfortunately, his wares do not come with clear advertisements as to the treats they carry.
But Roscoe's oh so good at this.
It's a time. But you know what? One of Samantha's abilities might be useful. And I think she feels like she owes you, Isabella. She can remain invisible. I mean, really invisible. What if she were to spend time outside your pub watching?
That could be good. And we can sweeten the deal. And while she's there watching, you can come and spend time with me, Roscoe. I feel like a conversation between us is long due.
You know what? I see what you're doing there. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like we have a plan then.
Yeah.
So the
Sounds
group
good.
has made plans. Jackie definitely has something she's going to go do. Do you wish to speak with Etienne as you're leaving the place before we end the episode, Jackie?
Yes.
When you get in the vehicle, Etienne, ma'am, where are we heading?
Home.
Yes, ma'am.
Which of course we already knew this, but Isabella basically confirmed. Amelia DiCarlo, threat to all of us. So, be on guard.
I know you've mentioned her before. I've got vague memories. Wasn't she the blood-hunted one?
Yes. And other La Sombra in the city are her spies. That's going to mean Sierra and Celia.
It's a tough choice on those two, ma'am. You told me about that night at your... I was there, but you told me the significance of her that night with Kevin at your gala. From what I know at Tally, he would not have embraced somebody that broke that easy. I know Lucinda's good. I don't want to
She's
falter,
not that good.
but
Not to break a La Sombra.
not to break his child.
His child. Exactly. No, I played along for the evening to not make her aware that I would guess that she was not broken.
And bring up Celia. Celia was with Lamar for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Found in our domain.
Mm-hmm. Missing for, unable to be tracked or found for 2 years, and all of a sudden, so easy.
Yeah. I know Sovereign squirrely as shit, ma'am. He's like a $3 bill.
Yes, exactly. I really don't think it's him. I think it's those two. They are both close to Kevin.
He keeps Sierra around like a...
He also keeps Celia around.
Yeah, he strikes me as the type to show his benevolence by letting everybody know that he's making sure she's properly educated in the Camarilla, and he's teaching a La Sombra how to be Camarilla himself
Mm-hmm.
He strikes me as that type.
Yes.
Well, we've got it narrowed down to 2.
I say kill them both.
And Etienne looks back at you. I mean, that's how we did it in the old days, ma'am.
Exactly.
And I'll be fair, that's how Nolan would have handled it.
Exactly.
I'll make sure I start, how do you all put it, gather the party favors for that kind of an option.
Meanwhile, I'm going to see if there's some way I can't curry enough favor with Kevin that he will release one of them into my custody. I want Sierra myself.
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Yes. She is the one that ratted out where Nolan was to Tally. I will end her.
I mean, that's the venture way, I think.
And, going to need to get a message to the drop-off point for Dawn. Genevieve would like to speak with her.
I'll do that tomorrow, ma'am.
Excellent. And tonight there was a Nosferatu hanging about the garage while we were at Phoenix.
Ma'am, this city seems to be filled with Nosferatu, but
Yes, but this one turned into a large bat
a bat.
and followed us as we left.
Only way it could sound more European is if he had a top hat on.
Exactly.
And they do love that. I'm not going to say style. They seem to have a way of favoring.
It's very old-fashioned.
Yes.
It is very set in old ways.
Yes.
I guarantee it's not a young one. And it's certainly not American.
Yeah, as far as I know, around here, y'all prefer rat. Or the Nos do, at least.
Y'all, I'm not American.
Ma'am, you've been here so long. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
I think we're both at this point, might as well consider us a little bit of both. Dual citizens, I think, is a good way to put it. Because you may be European, but you sure learn to think like them. Otherwise, well, let's just say we'd both be in a pile of ash somewhere or in a box.
True. You adapt to your surroundings, that way you survive.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm going to place a call to my son, find out if he brought anyone with him.
Yes, ma'am. And you all head into the night. And we're going to end the episode right here with some revelations, some info, some heart-touching scenes. Favors now owed. Jenny on the warpath at this point, I think. Jenny's about ready to throw down on a lot of different people in the city. And as often in Kindred Society, there's a lot of enemies out there. Sometimes it's hard to tell who's targeting who and who's going after what. But in the end, a coterie that sticks together means one enemy is everyone's enemy. That's your strength. I'd like to thank the players and you, the viewers out there. Of course, immediately, the player vote. Everyone gets XP for last episode because, I mean, it was a season kickoff. And as a matter of fact, I am being a benevolent storyteller tonight after the fucked up shit that I've thrown at them this season already, and we're only on episode 2. I'm giving everyone one additional bonus XP because we had an easier season, but this is going to be a tension ratcheted up season where there's going to be a lot of threats, and I'm going to compensate the players by giving them a bonus XP every once in a while because the players need it for the tension I'm putting on.
Threats are ramping up.
And it helps the players feel that the tension that I'm putting them under is for a good reason. They're getting tangible benefit on top of story. So please, everybody, if you like what we're doing, join us on our Discord. Just this past week, we had a one-shot or a casting call for a 1 to 3 shot of Vampire Close. But if you were part of the Discord, you could have applied to be in it. We have casting calls open up, so get in on that. Plus, we do weekly Zoom hangouts. We play some non-stream community games. We talk about games. We talk about books. paranormal, occult. We support each other when, we're having problems. We try to keep an eye on each other. So join us on the Discord. Of course, want to see the back episodes? Pop over to YouTube. That's where all our back episodes are. You can catch all the back Windy Cities, all the previous one-shots, so much World of Darkness content. You can't throw a stick at our channel without at least bouncing off of some World of Darkness, because we got it all covered. Going through everything. Wow, I'm still out of practice. You want to catch amazing content creators like Mischievous Red and the Ivy Raven? Check out our friends list over here. They put out good content. Go check them out. Give them a follow. Catch when they're streaming. Ask them about the game. They'll talk about it. Ask them about what they're doing at the time. They'll talk about that too. It's their channel, not ours. They get to talk about what they want to. Might give you spoilers, might not. It's up to them. You want to get some merch? Get your Windy City merch. We've got it. Get it. Everybody loves it. Trust me, we don't make money off the merch. We have the bare minimum above the list price on it. We just offer it as a way for the community to have some good reminders. In particular, I tell people these posters are awesome. I love them. So get some of those and support. If you want to give something to the players that play in this stream, bits and donations, they go to the players. They do not go to the studio. The studio gets subscriptions on Twitch. We also get the coffee. But if you want to give something to players, bits and donations, they go to them to show your thanks for all the good things they do. And there's a lot of effort that goes into this. And there's a lot of fun that goes into it. But there's a lot of work that goes into a stream of like this. So please don't give money if you can't afford it. But if you really want to, support the players, support the studio. Because, we'll keep doing it. But it's always nice to feel we're appreciated that much once in a while. And I'm done my part for once, and I'm turning it over to my wife for hers with the schedule.
All right, so thanks for joining us for the second episode of Season 8 of Windy City After Dark. And coming up over the next week, we got nada until next Sunday for Episode 3 of Season 8 of Windy City After Dark. And so we hope you will join us next Sunday.
As everybody, as you know, we love to end these streams with a little thing about mental health. We find mental health very important on this channel. We want you to take your mental health seriously. Mental health is health, and we want everyone to be okay. So check in on people around you. Check in on family, friends, loved ones. Please make sure they're okay. If you haven't heard from a friend in a while, and they seem to have clammed up a bitch. Wow. Clammed up a bit, reach out to them.
Oh, they can try to clam up this bitch. I'll show them something.
That doesn't work. But seriously, check in on them. Just reach out and say, is everything okay? How you doing? Just reach out and check. And if you suffer from mental health issues and you don't feel you have anyone around you you can reach out to, because I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about mental health with their friends. In chat, list the numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get the help you need. Because the people on that line, they don't know you. They're not going to judge you. They're just going to try to help you. Because most of those lines are covered by volunteers. And they do it because they want to help people. So please, take care of yourself. It's okay to not be okay, and just take care of yourself. And now I will give it over to my wife for her portion of the outro.
Y'all know, I'm a nurse. Brad's a nurse. Go get your goddamn shots. Seriously. We're coming up into fall, leading into winter. Get your goddamn flu shot. Get your freaking COVID shot. Make sure your polio vaccine's up to date because, there's like a freaking health emergency in New York now with polio, and that's only going to go out in other major cities too. So, New York is a major hub of people coming in and out. So, yeah. Yeah. And then on top of that, if you are eligible for your monkeypox vaccine, most state health departments have eligibility information on their websites. You can check that out. And if you are eligible to get your monkeypox vaccine, please go get it because that stuff is incredibly painful. Incredibly painful. So please.
Glass on the skin, people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad neuropathy, y'all. Really bad. So please get your shots. And fuck the GOP. Seriously, just fuck the GOP.
I want to say something on that one. for some people who are claiming it's about states' rights, they're awful quick to try to pass a nationwide fucking ban. Don't
Yeah,
believe their
because
bullshit.
Kansas scared them.
Yeah, don't believe the bullshit. It's not about states' rights.
No.
It's about control
It's about control.
over women, and it's not going to stop there. It's
And that
control over
coming-
women, LGBTQIA, and anyone they don't agree with or choose to control.
And that coming from a South Carolina Bible thumper that has never been married and lives with his sister
And never had kids.
and never had children.
Yep.
I'm from South Carolina. Well, I spent the last half of my childhood in South Carolina. I know exactly what that means about Mr. Lindsey Graham.
Yep. So don't believe the states' rights things. That's not what it was about.
No.
They've done given it up. Their hypocrisy has already been shown.
Yeah.
The lie has been proven
Yeah.
by them trying to put that bill. So they're coming for it. Please
And
vote.
even
boo.
if you just check their voting records, legit, all of them err towards big corporations over the middle class. They literally err towards limiting rights,
Cutting your Social Security, which is not a
cutting your
handout.
social
pay for that.
benefits. Yeah. And literally, you can see it. It's public record. So they're not helping anybody but themselves and their rich fucking cohorts. So please, vote blue.
Please.
Please.
And fuck Putin.
Mhm.
Not done. Gonna keep saying it. Fuck Putin. Get out of Ukraine. It's not your fucking country. They got their ass kicked recently, and they need to continue to get their ass kicked. Ukraine did a counteroffensive that was pretty amazing. So, and of course, everyone be a good neighbor. We do not need toxicity in this community or in the TTRPG space as a whole. We do not need narcissism. We do not need abusers. Please be a good neighbor to each other. So I do thank you all. And I think these players, you're in for a wild ride this season. It is going to be a wild ride, everybody. So as a storyteller that has the privilege to play with these players, I thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody.